The massive viewport of the Galactic Combat Academy stretched across the outer ring of the space station, offering a breathtaking view of distant nebulae and star systems. In orbit near the outer edge of the Orion Arm, the Academy housed over 10,000 trainees from dozens of species, each with their unique biological advantages and combat specializations. Officer Vargu, a towering Krishtari with 4 muscular arms and crystalline armor plating, surveyed the latest batch of recruits through the observation deck. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Kier, floated beside him, his gelatinous form rippling with barely contained amusement. The human representative should arrive within the hour, Kier bubbled, his translucent body pulsing with purple undertones of humor. I've reviewed the preliminary reports. Their species ranks in the lowest percentile for physical adaptability across 17 different metrics. Varga's mandibles clicked in what resembled a chuckle. Weak gravity wells, fragile bone structure, limited sensory range. I'm surprised they were admitted at all. The doors to the hangar hissed open, and a transport vessel docked with mechanical precision. From its depths emerged a procession of new trainees. A Vorthack with 6 legs and electromagnetic sensory organs. A Cylonian whose crystalline exoskeleton refracted the station's lights, and finally, Jack Martinez stepped onto the deck, his standard Academy jumpsuit hanging somewhat loosely on his lean frame. At just under 2 meters tall, he appeared average among the cosmic diversity surrounding him, yet distinctly unremarkable by the Academy standards. Varga's 4 eyes narrowed. That's their specimen? No scales, no additional limbs, no visible defensive adaptations. Orientation proceeded with familiar efficiency. Trainees were assigned quarters, given basic gear, and run through standard physiological assessments. When Jack's turn came for the gravity tolerance test, Vargu exchanged a knowing glance with Kier. Set it to double Earth standard, Vargu ordered the technician, his mandibles clicking with suppressed mirth. The testing chamber's holographic displays shimmered as gravitational fields adjusted. Jack stepped inside, feeling the sudden weight press against his body. Every muscle tensed, every movement required conscious effort. Well, human, Kier's voice crackled through the intercom. Perhaps you'd like to forfeit? We understand your species isn't built for. Could you make a triple? Jack interrupted, his voice steady despite the strain. Silence fell over the observation deck. Varga's crystalline armor scraped as he leaned forward. Excuse me. Triple, Jack repeated, performing a series of controlled stretches. If I'm going to train here, I might as well push my limits. The technicians looked to Vargu, who waved dismissively. Grant his request. Let's see how long the human pride lasts. The gravity field intensified. 3 times Earth's Pullman Jack weighed nearly 300 kilos. Yet he remained standing, his breathing controlled, muscles adapted from years of high-intensity training on Earth. He executed a perfect squat, then another. A series of push-ups followed, each movement precise and calculated. In the observation deck, whispers rippled through the gathering crowd of instructors and veteran trainees. Impossible, someone murmured. Their bone density can't support. Look at his form, another interrupted. It's like he's done this before. Jack completed his workout routine as if the crushing gravity were merely an inconvenience. When the session ended and the field normalized, he stepped out of the chamber with only a light sheen of sweat. Will there be any actual challenges, or are practical jokes the Academy's standard curriculum? Vargu's mandibles clicked rapidly, their equivalent of stammering. For the first time in his decades of service, he found himself at a loss for words. The following days brought whispers throughout the Academy's corridors. Mess halls buzzed with speculation about the human who laughed at triple gravity. Some dismissed it as a technical malfunction or hidden augmentation technology. Others wondered if the pre-mission reports on humans had been woefully inaccurate. During morning combat exercises, Jack found himself partnered with Rona, a Meridian shapeshifter known for adaptability. Their assignment: close-quarters combat simulation under varying gravity conditions. I've heard the rumors, Rona said, her form rippling between solid and liquid states. Is it true you asked for more gravity during testing? Jack shrugged as they took positions. Comfort zones are overrated. The simulation began. Gravity fluctuated between 0.5 and 2.5 times standard. Rona's fluid form gave her advantages in low gravity, but Jack moved with unexpected grace, using momentum and quick thinking to compensate for his single form limitations. When gravity increased, Rona struggled to maintain structural integrity. Jack, however, seemed to thrive. His techniques shifted, becoming more grounded, more powerful. He swept Rona's liquid form, using her own mass against her. The session ended with both trainees on the mat, breathing heavily. Rona reformed, impressed despite herself. Your species trains in high gravity. We train for everything, Jack replied. Adaptation is our specialty. Word spread quickly. The human who embraced triple gravity became a curiosity, then an oddity, and finally a subject of serious interest. In tactical planning courses, Jack's unconventional approaches, born from human creativity rather than species-specific advantages, began earning respect. Gryak, a massive warrior from a high-gravity world, initially scoffed at the attention. Standing 3 meters tall, with muscle-dense physiology, he considered himself the Academy's strength standard. A practical demonstration, Gryak rumbled, approaching Jack in the training hall. Let's see if your species' reputation stands up to reality. The challenge drew a crowd. Vargu and Kier watched from elevated positions, their earlier amusement replaced by genuine curiosity. The combat arena's gravity could be set anywhere from 0 to 5 times standard. Gryak smiled, revealing rows of pointed teeth. For times, he declared, standard for my homeworld. Jack nodded. Works for me. What followed defied expectations. Under crushing gravity, Gryak's natural advantages became liabilities. His massive frame struggled with agility. His powerful muscles burned energy at an unsustainable rate. Jack, meanwhile, moved like water, flowing around attacks, using minimal motion for maximum effect. When Gryak threw a punch that could shatter stone, Jack redirected the force, using the giant's momentum against him. The match ended with Gryak on his back, confused and winded. As he rose, Jack extended a hand. Good match. Your people really are strong. Gryak stared at the offered hand, then slowly grasped it. Your people are not what we believed. The Academy's atmosphere shifted. Practical jokes targeting the weak human ceased entirely. Instead, instructors began studying Jack's techniques, his adaptability, his problem-solving approaches. In survival training, Jack excelled where others expected him to fail. When faced with a toxic atmosphere simulation, he identified edible fungi others overlooked. During low-gravity navigation exercises, he developed vertical movement techniques that soon spread throughout his class. Your home world, Lieutenant Kier asked during a strategy session, his form quivering with scientific interest. What's it really like? Jack considered the question. Diverse. Challenging. We've had to adapt to every environment our planet offers, from crushing ocean depths to thin mountain air, from frozen tundras to scorching deserts. And you train for all of these? We have to. We don't have the luxury of being born with built-in advantages for any specific environment. This revelation spread like ripples through still water. The Academy, in its vast wisdom, had been measuring species by their peak capabilities while overlooking the human capacity for adaptation. Commander Vargu summoned Jack to his office 3 months into training. The Krishtari's quarters were sparse, functional, dominated by tactical displays and strategic maps. Trainee Martinez, Vargu began, his mandibles clicking thoughtfully. I owe you an acknowledgement. Our initial assessment was flawed. With respect, sir, you weren't entirely wrong. We aren't the strongest species, or the fastest, or the most resilient to any single environmental factor. But you adapt, Vargu finished. You compensate. You innovate. Jack smiled. It's what we do. The Academy's ultimate test arrived at the end of the cycle, the integration exercise. Teams of mixed species would face a combat simulation incorporating every challenge the Academy could devise. Environment, gravity, atmospheric conditions, all would vary unpredictably. Jack found himself squad leader of Team Zeta, a group that included Sarah, a Nytherian with flight capabilities, Tarkus, a heavily armored Krell warrior, and Lys, an energy-manipulating being made of living plasma. The exercise began in a vacuum environment, transitioning through various planetary conditions. In zero gravity, Sarah took point. When atmosphere returned, Tarkus's armor provided protection against toxic elements. Lys illuminated dark caverns and disabled electronic defenses. But as gravity levels climbed, first a double, then triple, then beyond, Jack's leadership truly shone. He positioned team members to maximize their strengths while compensating for their weaknesses. When Sarah struggled under heavy gravity, Jack adapted to serve as her anchor. When Tarkus's armor became too heavy, Jack found paths that used momentum rather than raw strength. The final challenge pushed gravity to 5 times standard. Most teams faltered, their members overwhelmed by their own biology. Team Zeta, under Jack's coordination, pressed forward. They used the environment itself, sloping terrain, structural weak points, gravitational effects, as tools rather than obstacles. When the exercise concluded, Team Zeta had completed the course in record time. More importantly, they had done so with the highest teamwork efficiency rating in Academy history. In the debriefing, instructors found themselves rethinking fundamental assumptions about species compatibility and combat effectiveness. Jack had proven that adaptability could surpass specialized evolution. The graduation ceremony was held in the Academy's Grand Auditorium, a spherical chamber that could accommodate all current species and visitors. Representatives from member worlds attended, including Ambassador Elena Rourke from Earth, whose presence surprised no one more than Jack himself. "Congratulations," she whispered as he took his place on the podium. "You've given them a lot to think about." When awards were announced, Jack received commendations for innovation in tactical adaptation and excellence in multi-species cooperation. But the real recognition came from his peers, Gryak's nod of respect, Rona's fluid salute, even Vargu's mandible click of approval. As the ceremony concluded, Jack found the commander waiting by the gravity training chamber. "One last test," Vargu offered, gesturing toward the controls. "Set it to standard levels." Jack shook his head with a grin. "Can we do quadruple?" Vargu's eyes gleamed. "Make it 5. As Jack entered the chamber one final time, he heard whispers from the graduating class. "Did you hear? They're updating the human assessment protocols. The Galactic Council is requesting detailed studies of their training methods. I heard they're being considered for the Deep Space Exploration Initiative." The gravity field engaged. 5 times Earth's pull would crush most beings. Jack felt every kilogram, every strain on his muscles and organs. But he also felt something else, the culmination of months of training, the weight of expectation transformed into strength. He began his routine, each movement a testament to human adaptability. In the observation deck, species who had once dismissed humanity watched with newfound understanding. The practical joke that had begun this journey had evolved into profound respect. When Jack emerged from the chamber, Vargu extended all 4 hands in greeting. "Welcome to the vanguard of interstellar cooperation, Marine Jack Martinez." "Thank you, sir. But if you don't mind." Jack glanced at the chamber's control panel. "Could we make it 6 times next visit?" The Academy erupted in what could only be described as cosmic laughter. 100 different species expressing amusement and admiration in their unique ways. The human who embraced triple gravity had done more than pass their tests. He had redefined them. As the Academy adapted its training protocols to incorporate human techniques, inflexibility, and adaptability, Jack found himself frequently consulted on curriculum development. His gravity training experience became a case study in turning perceived weaknesses into strengths. Yet despite his growing reputation, Jack maintained the humble perspective that had served him throughout training. When younger trainees asked for his secret, He would smile and respond. There's no secret. You just have to be willing to embrace more than you think you can handle. Sometimes the joke's on the universe. It thinks we have limits we haven't discovered yet. Years later, when Jack commanded his own mixed-species unit on humanity's first deep space exploration mission, his philosophy continued to guide their success. The galaxy's vast diversity, once seen as a catalog of superior and inferior beings, revealed itself as a spectrum of complementary strengths. And somewhere in the depths of space, when facing new challenges and unknown worlds, Jack still found himself thinking back to that first day in the gravity chamber. Sometimes growth began with a joke. Sometimes it began with someone foolish enough, or wise enough, to ask for triple what they could handle. The Academy's motto had been strength through superiority. Jack's legacy helped reshape it to something more fundamental: strength through unity. Because in a universe of infinite diversity, the ability to adapt and cooperate mattered more than any single evolutionary advantage. The human representative had arrived as a curiosity. He graduated as proof that in the grand cosmic experiment, humanity's greatest strength lay not in what nature had given them, but in their relentless drive to push beyond what anyone, including themselves, believed possible.